$20,000 in 1 month at 19 years old? That's just insane. This just shows that literally anyone can make it. This interview is so important because it shows someone that went down the university 9 to 5 route and he pivoted due to COVID, losing his job and started his own online business. Now, it wasn't like the typical fairy tale that COVID came in, he lost his job and he was able to find success straight away. No, there was a long road of just hardships. Like, it wasn't easy for him to really get to where he is now, and he's only getting started. Here is a Ryan Lee interview.
Hello, I'm Ryan Lee. I'm 19 years old and I live in Sydney, Australia. I first started getting into ecom around my high school years. I don't know if you remember that we had one of those days where all these universities, they come to the school, they open booths and you go in, you look around and sort of decide what you want to do. And I don't know, on that day, I got lost. I was following my friends around. They're all like, oh, I want to be a tradie, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be all this. And I'm like, I don't really want that. So I sort of was just stuck there. And that night I went home and I saw this ad. I forgot who it was by, some guru, but it's like, oh, do you want to know how to make money online and make money while you sleep and do all the work from home? And I'm like, yeah, I do. So yeah, since then I've sort of it's been like an on and off process, just watching videos about e-commerce, like Amazon FBA, Shopify, dropshipping, all that. And it wasn't until earlier this year where I actually got started. And yeah, from then on, it's just been uphill.
How long ago did you start watching? How many years has it been since you've been sort of like researching?
End of 2018, I started watching videos on and off. And then about 6 months after that, I decided, okay, I'm gonna maybe start putting it into action. So I first started with giving Amazon FBA a go because that was majority of the ads I've been seeing. So I gave it a go, and you know, because I was watching all these different, like getting info from different sources, different YouTubers, different gurus and all that, I became overwhelmed and I couldn't really find a place to start, because all the videos I'm watching, they're all like, oh, strategies, do this, do that, but no one really gave me a specific starting point to where I could just do the simple things first and then build up. I was just, I didn't know how to do it. So then I tried to I bought a course on Udemy on how to do it, but it was really skewed to the US market. So that, like, I failed at that as well. And I think after about 3 months of doing that, not even getting to the point of making sales, I sort of gave up. I'm like, okay, I'll pack it in. I went to go study, I got a job. And then after losing that job, I decided, okay, I'm going to give this another go. And now I'm loving it.
Right now, are you graduated from high school? Are you a first year uni student? Did you take a gap year?
Yeah, I'm 2 years past graduating from high school. Yeah, I did uni for about 6 months. I got a full-time job in the field. And then all this pandemic stuff happened. I ended up losing the job. And because I didn't want to sit around doing nothing, I sort of like doubled down on my research on how to do online business and all that. I found you, joined your course, and yeah, now I'm basically living off the income I'm making from home, which is just sick.
I guess, like, you know, you're pretty young, Ryan. What's your surroundings like? Well, what are your friends like? Are they into this as well? What are their thoughts? Do they even know what you're doing? Tell me about that.
I think I'm pretty lucky in the sense I've got a really supportive friends and family group. My family, they all know what I'm doing and they support me for it because, you know, Asian family, if I'm making money, they're happy. But yeah, and all my friends, they know what I'm doing. They're sort of like in shock because they're like 2 years into uni studying for this degree, getting a 6-figure job afterwards while I'm here making, you know, a decent living from home. And they're sort of like, whoa. But yeah, I feel like I've got a good, you know, community around myself.
And like, given that you came from, you know, an Asian background, what's your parents' thoughts on this whole entrepreneurship thing, or are they into business as well?
No, they're not too into business. Like, my dad's a lawyer, my mom works for the bank. So when I told them that I didn't want to aim for, you know, your typical 9-to-5 job, they were sort of skeptical, but they were also supportive. They're like, okay, give it a go. If not, you can always go back to study later. You're still young. And I'm like, yeah, true. Recently, after I've been showing them my results, they look at it and they're like, is this for real? I'm like, yes, this is for real. This actually works. And they're like, okay, go for it. Give it a go. Scale it. I'm like, yeah, I will. And yeah, that's how it's been going.
Crazy. What was their reaction when you were like showing them the results? Like, yeah, well, what did they think?
It was pretty good. My mum, because when back when I was working full time, when I told her about the money I was making then, she was in shock because it was okay for my standards, but she was still in shock because it's a full-time job. I'm 19, 18. Yeah, and then recently when I showed her the results from my store, I made a week's worth of that job's pay in profit in 3 days. And then she looked at that and she, like, her jaw dropped and it stayed dropped for like 10 seconds. She's like, are you serious? That's more than Channel 7. I'm like, yeah. And yeah, so she's really proud of me for it, which is great. And my dad, same thing. He was in shock with my results, and he's sort of, he keeps motivating me to keep going, which is, yeah, it's nice.
When you were sort of grinding and trying to figure it out and you were doing Amazon and wasn't getting results, what were your parents' thoughts? Because, you know, your parents are bankers, lawyers, and you're here just trying to like figure out this online thing at home. And like, Did they think you were like a dropout kid or something? Like,
I think back then I wasn't very open about my my dreams in that area because, you know, I had just started. I didn't think if it was even an effective business model or not. Being, you know, a normal person, I didn't think if I was capable of doing it. So I wasn't really open about it. They just, when they see me on the computer, they just assume I was doing my uni work or research or anything like that. So yeah, they didn't really know at that point.
Awesome. Let's dig into like the hardships, because I know like now the things were amazing, but like I want to sort of make it real for people, because I was there when we're doing the live calls and you're like, dude, like this is like tough. I'm like 30 products in. Am I even going in the right direction? Take it back to them.
Okay. So before I even found a product before I even became overall profitable, I had tested 40 plus products and I was still multiple thousands in the negative. So obviously I was feeling I had a lot of self-doubt at that point because I've already spent thousands of dollars investing into this business, not making as much back. So obviously that made me second guess the entire process and whether or not if it was even worth it. And I sort of felt like I saw other students' results. Yeah, they always post in the group that how well they're doing. And I sort of, you know, I always thought I was doing something wrong and I couldn't figure out what it was. And then after because when I got to that point, there were days where I felt really bad, like just sort of kicking myself down and all that. But since I was sticking to your mindset and the mindset training in your course, it really helped me sort of, you know, relax and sort of just think, you know, it's not the end of the world. You wake up tomorrow, you try again, see how it goes. And that's what the rest of the group told me to do as well. Whenever I message or in the calls, they just tell me, dude, keep going, because they all went through this as well. And that sort of reassured me. I'm like, okay, I've been through this much failure. It just means I'm a step closer to success. And then a week later, I launched this one product and it just shot my revenue up to the point where I was profitable within like the next week, which was crazy. And since then, it's just been going up. Like I haven't had an unprofitable day for a long time now, and it feels really good.
That's amazing, Ryan. Yeah, I remember like when I was like 70 products in, I was $5,000 down. But when I found my first winner, within 1 to 2 weeks, I made all that money back in like such a short time. And it took 6 months to lose it all, but I made it back in 2 weeks.
It's crazy. It just goes to show how quickly you can change your situation if you just, you know, keep going.
It's like that motivation photo of like the two miners and they're sort of digging for the diamond, and then one person was so close and he walked away.
When I was that much money down, I think it was about 3,000 in the negative. I was on the cusp of giving up. because I had lost $3,000 in a really short span, like a month. And then, I know, a month and a half, yeah. But then after that, I think I became $2,500 in the profit within the next week, which was crazy.
If you had a version of you 2-3 months ago, what would you be telling yourself right now? Like, he's like currently down. He's like, damn, like this isn't working out. I'm doing everything. I'm doing the daily mindset routines. I'm showing up to these mastermind calls. I'm losing money every day. What would you say to that Ryan?
I would tell him to strictly stick to your mindset training, because it really does help. It just reading it every morning, every night, it keeps your brain in the phase of, it just keeps me motivated. Also, yeah, I just tell him to, if he's too stressed, take some days off, go do whatever makes you happy, hang out with your friends, family, and all that, because I think there is a correlation between your overall happiness and the performance of your business. Like, if you're sad yourself, you're not going to put your all into your business, so your money's going to go down, and then vice versa. So yeah, I just tell him to relax, take a breath, take some days off, and then stick to the mindset and just get back into it and, try your hardest.
And on the topic of mindset routine, do your parents think you're crazy? I think when you're reading that out loud every morning and night, like, what do they think of that booklet? Do they see you reading that, or do you have your door closed?
I'm lucky enough to do it in a room where they're not in, because I think if I was just sitting in the living room reading out loud, they definitely think I'm mental. But yeah, that I don't think they know about my mindset thing. They know that I keep track, like a daily tracker and all that. They see me doing that. I just do it in the living room. But yeah, I don't know how they'd react if they saw me reading to myself every day.
And like, what else have you been doing, Ryan? Like, do you just do ecom full time? Do you have hobbies, or like, has this become your hobby?
Money making wise, this has become my main source of income, and I'm very happy with that. The things that I've wanted to do long term, have always actually been ecom related. So this is actually a very good, stepping stone for me to go on to bigger things later. And now that I've learned your process and all that, and how effective it is, it's just given me the ability to live like I was living before, except I don't have to put in 40 hours a week. I'm putting in like basically part-time hours, sometimes even less, and I'm making the equivalent of my old full-time job, which is just crazy.
What do you do with all this extra free time you have now, Ryan?
I've dedicated it to doing things that I didn't have the time to when I was working full-time, because working 40 hours a week, I didn't have time to go exercise as much as I wanted. Anytime my friends wanted to go out at night, I couldn't, because I actually worked at night, which was crazy. I can go out to family gatherings now. I go see my friends, all that. I just dedicate it to all the things that I missed out on when I was working.
Share with everyone the results you're getting now. Actually, start by sharing how much down you was, how much money you're in the negative, how much you're losing every day to your current results.
I don't think I have the exact numbers, but every month when I refresh my mindset booklet and all that, on the front of it, I include a image of my revenue, just so I can sort of keep track of my progress. And after the first month of your course, I think it was around $3,000 revenue, which is cool in the loss, but 3,000 revenue, like, okay. And then the second month after that, I look back and it said 11,000 within the next month, which that's a pretty big jump from 3,000 to 11,000. And by that point, I actually was profitable. So that was the big turning point for me. And then now I'm just over a week into my third month, and it went from 11,000. Now I'm on 21,000.
You passed the 20K mark.
Yeah, I'm on 21,000 now, within a week and a half of the third month, which is crazy. So I'm sort of looking forward to the end of this month when I add the new screenshot of the revenue in to see what it is. And then from there, I just want to see how far I can actually take this, because it's been going up, and then recently it's just sort of just tilted and went like that, which is...
Dude, I love collecting the booklets. Just seeing all
me
the
too.
photos on how it's like a chapter. It's like a manga series, or it's your own. And then you see yourself growing and everything. It's like I keep them all.
Yeah, all the booklets. I think that the front page, it's a picture of me holding my phone with like my revenue number on it. It's like this. Yeah, so I'm excited to take the third one. Hopefully it's, you know, some crazy big number.
Yeah, and then you can see your growth as yourself and the score, everything. It's going to be amazing. I guess, how did it feel hitting these big numbers? Like, what was your biggest day, Ryan, so far, actually?
I think 1.2K was my biggest day. And it happened to fall on a Monday as well, which happens to be like, which usually is not a very good day, but on a Monday I got 1.2K and it was my best sales day.
Dude, how did that feel? Like, that must have been like a crazy day for you.
Yeah, that felt insane. I didn't think it was going to happen because by 11 p.m. it was at 9:50. I think at 11:30 p.m. it was at 9:50. I'm like, okay, that's basically my whole revenue for the day. I just missed out, whatever. And then from then until midnight, I just got another handful of sales, which just bumped it up to 1.2K. And I looked at it, I'm like, are you serious? It's midnight. I've got another 6 orders to fulfill. But yeah, it felt really good, but because that was the first time I saw 1K in a day. Because when I think about when I started, it took me a while to actually reach 1K. And now I'm seeing 1K in just a single day, which it freaked me out, and I was really excited. But yeah, it felt really good.
Because I remember that day where you were like just one sale off from the 1K mark.
Yeah, it was, I think I ended the day with 985, which if I had just made one more sale, would have crossed it. But I think the past 3-4 days for me have been over 1K, so it's been going pretty well.
Congratulations, now you're just hitting 1K with ease like butter.
Yeah, being profitable about anywhere between 25 to 40%.
That's super good, man. That's super good.
40% profit, I was really happy about that.
How's your life changed compared to before? Has anything been different? What's different now, Ryan?
I have a lot more free time than I used to, and I am making the same, if not more money than before. So overall, I feel like I work as if I'm broke. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm putting in, obviously I put in a lot of time for the business, but I feel like compared to the amount of work I was putting in before and compared to the money I was earning before, this is night and day, you know? So yeah, I've gotten a lot more free time. I can do whatever I want to do now, and the ability to choose to have a day off whenever I want is it's completely new to me, and it feels really nice because I know all of my friends don't have that ability, but if they want to go out all one day, I'm like, yep, no problem, I'll go out.
Dude, that's good. You literally you're working on your own schedule.
Yeah, it's great.
And then on that topic of how now it's so much easier, it's like accumulation of all your knowledge, skill, confidence, where you could literally do what would have taken you one whole day to set up a store. You could literally do that in 2 to 3 hours. And now it feels like you're putting in less work, but that less work is just so much more high quality, where you're able to output 8-hour days in 2 hours just because you're so experienced.
Yes, that's the perfect explanation of it. It's just going through your course and the experience of failing and then trying again, failing, trying again, and constantly repeating it. You just you get accustomed with the whole process, and then the skills and the knowledge just gets implanted in there, so you can do what would have taken you days before within a few hours. In doing that, you get the rest of the day free, and you can do what you'd like to do. That's
awesome. And on that topic, when it comes to your mindset, your personality, your personal growth, how has things changed? Are you a different person from 2 to 3 months ago?
I'd say so. Yeah, I'm generally I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky sort of person, but I don't have this thing in the back of my mind that I'm worried about anymore, because me in general, I was always one of my biggest fears is financial instability. I'm just because of my background and all that, I'm very sort of sensitive with my money. So even jumping into your course, it was quite a scary step for me, but looking back, I'm really glad that I took it, because now I don't have the constant fear of, oh, should I spend on this, should I spend on that anymore? It's sort of just, I feel like I'm at peace in that sense. So yeah, I'm a lot more, I wouldn't say carefree, but sort of, I don't worry as much.
That's awesome. I guess, what is next for you, Ryan?
Next, I'm probably just gonna, I'm just gonna try scale this business as far as I can, pretty much. I don't want to stop here. Given my results now, I'm quite ambitious now. I want to see how far I can actually take it. If I'm able to eventually hit 6K, that would be like a dream for me, because I never thought that's something I'd actually be able to do. That's it. I'm just gonna try scale, see how I go, and yeah.
That's awesome. What's your next milestone that you want to hit?
I'd love to see my store hit 50K. That would be crazy. I think that's the next sort of big number. I think I'm expecting to hit 25K soon, but if I hit 50K, that's like mind-blowing sort of territory. And then after that, I'm gonna just keep going.
Hopefully you could just keep drawing this product out, and like within the next 30 days, you hit that goal, you can set the next goal, just keep dragging it out, and hopefully it can run for a long time. That's the goal. Something that can just literally go, and like if you're lucky, this might be the $1 million product. If you're unlucky, this might be the 30K product. But who knows? It's like that's what's so fun about this game. 30K product, 1 million product. I'm happy either way. That's still a huge amount of money for one product. And I've just been simultaneously, I've also been testing while I'm scaling this one product. So hopefully I'm just so I get a little bit of a head start. If this one eventually dies, I got a little bit of a head start. So yeah, looking forward to see how I go. That's good. Have you been testing similar products so you can't winner?
Yes and no. I sort of alternate each test. Yeah, because it's always the sort of minute product that you don't think will sell, and then it just explodes. Like my current product, I didn't think it would sell at all, and right now it's brought me like over 12K in revenue, which is crazy.
And then it's weird how you can literally test the exact same product that's a bit different, but for some reason it just doesn't work, even though they're the exact same thing. It's strange.
I've tested multiple products that are similar. Some have performed okay, but some they just don't sell at all. I'm like, okay, fair enough. But yeah, it's sort of weird how it all works.
Yeah, it's like a bit of luck, experience, because there's so many moving parts, from the targeting to the ad copy to the creative, that like everything that just needs to match. Obviously, the more it matches, the better it will work. Or you just need it to slightly match for it to start making like $1,000 days. But getting it to slightly match, that's like even hard itself. I'm
glad I was able to do it. A little bit earlier would have been nice, but I'm glad I was able to do it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how it literally happened a week after your like tipping point. It happened literally a week after my lowest day, because I think on my lowest day, the amount I was negative in, like my loss, it crossed over some big number. I forgot, it was a few thousand, but it crossed over a big number. And looking at that, it made me feel really bad. But within the next coming days, I launched the product that I'm scaling now, and I've just never looked back since. Dude, I'm so happy for you. I guess, what's your biggest tip for those looking to achieve the same results for you? Let's say you're talking to the old Ryan, some viewer that's like trying to make this work, or someone that's trying to just make money online. What's your biggest tip for them?
I tell them, if they're sort of hesitant to even start, I tell them to do it, because it's a risk worth taking. Like, just based on my point of view, looking back, it was definitely worth taking the risk. But also, don't be too ambitious, and also be really patient. Because if you go in expecting a lot, you're not going to get much out of it. But if you go in, sort of have the mindset of, okay, I've started something new, I'm going to go from the ground up and learn how to get everything to work for me. then the knowledge you gain in doing that, you're going to see results like that, which, yeah, that's the best advice I can give. Just do it, take the leap and do it. And then once it starts, just be patient and you'll see results eventually.
That's the interview. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As always, let's go ahead and announce the winners for last video's worth of $1,000 worth of courses, a consultant course with me. The winner's here. If you guys want to qualify, all you have to do is drop a comment below, follow me on Instagram, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll be picking the best comment every single video. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys found a lot of value from this, and I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow with nothing but more value. Peace.